I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, AJ and the Queen fans. We are here to discuss episode 10 of AJ and the Queen season 1, the grand finale, Dallas.
We made it.
We made it.
Made it to Dallas.
I am your host, 123 Jackie B. With me, as always, Mark J. Freeman.
Hello.
Jayla Roxx.
Yes, sorry, I was looking at the Dolly Parton challenge. Hi guys, it's me, Jayla Roxx, and I'm back in the building.
And Ollie Dreamer.
Yes, guys. I want you guys to do the Dolly Parton challenge
We
now.
should do one where each one of us is one piece of the Dolly Parton challenge.
I am LinkedIn.
Well, he's definitely Tinder.
He's definitely Grindr. We'll go with that one.
I don't even have Tinder.
Yeah, she has Grindr.
Mark is Facebook, I feel like, because
I'll
you post
take
a lot
Facebook.
on Facebook.
Jackie, your Instagram.
That's so funny because I
Right,
just
okay.
deactivated my Facebook
Oh.
today.
Oh, you did?
How does it make you feel?
Okay.
How are people going to know about Bernie Sanders?
Well,
And your performance.
I still have Instagram.
And your performance. And you have Twitter, too.
And I have Twitter.
Twitter.
Yeah, it's not really that big of a deal. But, I mean, you can still see my page, I guess, the way that I did it. So you guys can still see it. So I'm just not. I'm going to try and
Just
avoid it for a
active,
while. Yeah. I still have my fan pages.
Yes, girl.
Mark.
All 12.
Well, anyway,
For all my personalities.
so this episode we had
Dallas.
We had a bunch of cameos. There was
Pandora. At the
Pandora, Trinity, and Jujubee.
beginning.
And then Jayla said,
Desi Love Blake. She's a local queen. Not here, but I can't remember where she lives. But and there was also Samantha Starr, who lives in West Hollywood.
Oh, was she on there?
Yeah,
I didn't see her.
She was the cute boy with the blonde hair at the beginning when they were doing like the lineup. Go back and watch. You'll see her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't know
you'll
that
see
I've
her.
ever seen Samantha out of drag, so that's probably
Yeah, you
why.
can't miss her. Black girl with blonde hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, so there were cameos, and they happened, and they were here in this episode.
Well, it was nice. Oh, wait, there was a cameo last episode with Ginger, right?
Yeah.
Miss Min.
And Jane.
But it's nice seeing multiple cameos, I think.
I
And
know,
it was-
I like the multiple
And
cameos.
props for Trinity for having such a big role this episode.
Well, she just won, so she came off of the top of that. So
I wonder why Monet wasn't in the show at all.
Monet was on tour.
I love Monet.
Monet was on tour at the time. For
Was she?
Work the World or whatever one of those tours is, because then
Gotcha.
she got called for Madonna, and then that became that whole drama of her getting pulled off the tour.
Oh.
Maybe it's the same timeline. I don't know.
No, okay, because I was wondering. I thought I was being shady. I thought Monet wasn't on because
The real winner was up there.
right.
Oh, you said it, not me.
It was. I mean, it's the finale, but I love Monet. I love Monet.
Scheduling should be on season 2.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
So Ruby makes it to the pageant, and then when she gets there, she makes AJ rush for the one spare dressing room, and we have this interaction with her and the two. Who did she call them, Siegfried and Roy? I think
The pageant directors.
the two pageant directors.
Now, who were they supposed to channel?
In my head, it
might
was
have been
Siegfried and Roy.
I mean, I kind of did have that feeling.
I guess they hold her back by telling a story about how they're going to be parents soon, which I thought was a nice flash to the fact that Robert really does want to be AJ's parent.
Yeah,
so.
a lot of foreshadow writing here. So.
Yeah. And then we learn that the people who are at the pageant have certain people have booked a number of tickets so their fans can be there. And so Robert gets really ambitious and says he's going to have 200 fans coming on a bus and they'll pay when they get there.
Okay.
Do you guys know if that's... I've never been to a drag pageant, so I don't know if paying for your audience is a real thing.
That we normally, if you go to a pageant, they normally pay in ad space for the program. So half a page is $50, full page is $150, and that's how you kind of get the financial part of it, the revenue income. But a lot of other events like music venues and stuff like that, they require you to pay tickets. So I mean that's a normal thing, but for pageants,
Well, yeah, that I knew. Like a lot of the music venues on Sunset Boulevard are like that, where the person who's booking the venue has to book out a certain number of tickets and sell them.
I mean, I've been to one or two, and I don't remember, like, I don't know if I paid. I probably didn't, knowing.
Right, you just
What
walked
did
in.
you
That
do?
wasn't to sound like bitchy. I was like, I probably didn't, though. Just knowing me, I probably was like, no, girl, I'm not going to come unless you get me in for free.
Well, I have to be so much better about that. I'm like, you want me to wait in the line? No. I mean, hey.
I don't remember. I don't know that that's necessary. I mean, people obviously want people to come for them, to cheer for them, but I
Right,
don't
of
know that you're
course.
required to do that.
Not
Well, see,
anymore.
Yeah, because that was the thing that was weird to me, because it's like she felt like she was on the spot for not paying for these fans, and I was like, can't you just compete in a pageant without, I'm sure there's a fee to book yourself into the
Yes,
pageant.
there's a registration fee.
But I was like, I can't imagine you having
But maybe
having to pay for your fans?
maybe showing out how many fans is kind of like not rigor mortis, but it's kind of like whoever has the most fans is gonna be more likely to win. At least, I don't think that actually happens, but I think.
Have you seen Drag Race for the past one?
But I mean, in this setting, for sure. But that's really interesting. I think pageantry is kind of like not mainstream anymore, and I feel like the club drag scene is kind of what's mainstream now. So I would like to be educated and know about that more. Pageantry.
yeah.
There needs to be like a documentary. I want to watch a documentary.
Oh, there are a million documentaries.
Pageant.
Yeah,
Pageant
pageant,
is
Queen.
Is it?
Yeah.
Queen is a great one with
I need to watch it. Where,
extravaganzas.
now, what streaming platform can I watch this on?
Definitely YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pornhub. Christian Mingo. Wherever else sold. I don't know.
So I was trying. Do you guys remember what Jujubee's character's name was? I'm trying to find it in my notes. I know
Lisa Lee.
something.
Lisa Lee.
Lisa Lee, and then Trinity was Danielle
Dupree.
Danielle Dupree.
Which is like the most like draggy of draggy names.
I know.
Like there's a house of Dupree and there's like 50 Duprees and I'm like, oh God. So I mean, I feel like they are capitalizing on the whole, like every aspect of drag. We saw this for all 10 episodes. We got an inside look about the various states of drag and where it's going in the future.
Literally states of drag through multiple different states.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think of that, but
See, this is why we're in a symbiotic relationship.
But I do think that it was great casting for Trinity to be like the pageant queen whose year it is to win, you know. And her fans are there, and they all have these like fans with her face on them. And then AJ uses the bootleg money to then go and try and bribe them to be Ruby Red fans. Which I thought was funny, And then we have this hate group that you can tell is kind of like Westboro Baptist Church-esque, but they're the God Hates Glamour group, which I just thought
now my
the
thing
name
is
was
when
funny.
it comes to protesters and stuff like that, how do you know? Because when we go to DragCon, there's always a group of protesters there. When there's
Jujubee's name is Lee St. Lee.
Lee St. Oh, I thought it was Lisa Lee.
Oh,
Lee
interesting.
St. I did say I knew they kept saying Lee, so I knew that.
Oh, okay. Who gives them the agenda? Like, who gives them the gay agenda?
Right.
To let them know.
It's like they're keeping tabs on it.
Yeah, like this is the gay agenda that they don't want, but they're following it somehow. And every event, even there's a drag queen story time, there's a drag con.
Pride
they're
on
always
it.
out there.
Pride. Even I remember I used to go to concerts all the time. Katy Perry concerts, Gaga, obviously.
Petras, yeah.
They'll be out there.
It's the Why You So Obsessed With Me. It's
Exactly.
like
I know.
It's like no one's going to listen to
You spend
you.
a lot of time looking for like gay events or drag queens or whatever. Why?
Are you?
Like,
Now,
just
I want to share
protest?
something since we're coming clean about this. Growing up, I actually had to go to a protesting event. And I found like it was very terrible because it was my church group that my mom and them was very Southern Baptist, and we had to go to they were building a new LGBT center in Atlanta, and we got up super early in the morning, and my mom's like, put your jacket on, like wear this, we're gonna go and like pray for these people. And seeing them, like, we were across the street and they were across the street, and they were going, like, I was like 6 or 7, so I had no idea. Like, why are we yelling at them? Like, what is it? And I felt so bad because I really wanted to be on the other side. And these people were like, they weren't being violent. We were the ones being like, you're going to hell. You're going to, and they were just like, we want you to, like, we open up with love. And, you know, so that, like, growing up with that, I just, it's not really my thing. So I try to make everything I can to be more inclusive and be more open and give back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's also scary too because it's like, you know, you have adults trying to, and I mean, I was raised Catholic, so it's like you have adults trying to indoctrinate you into certain things at an early age, and then once you grow up and you meet certain people, you're like, wait, why am I supposed to be scared of this person?
Yeah.
You know?
And it's really sad because all the teachings of a lot of different types of religion, like not all religion's bad. I don't want to crap on religion at all, but it's sad when, you know, you're supposed to practice all this love, but really you're preaching all this hate at the same time. Yeah. So it's very unfortunate.
So in the pageant, we have this Lady Danger gets an Uber or Lyft, I don't know. It's never really explained. She gets a ride share, and she's basically trying to trail Damien wherever he's going. He's headed for New Orleans, and then I was sad because I was like, I wanted to see drag in New Orleans.
What kind of drag would be in New Orleans? Like, would it be like
Bianca Del Rio? She's from New Orleans.
Is she?
Isn't she?
I don't know.
We need a Wikipedia.
I'm pretty sure she is.
I wonder if there's a queen that was on Drag Race from Louisiana.
Chi-Chi DeVayne.
Chi-Chi DeVayne.
Oh,
is
there
from
you go.
The
Louisiana.
Bayou Queen.
There you go.
Yeah.
Where's Chi-Chi DeVayne? She should have been in this.
Well, and Lady Danger got out due to overcrowding. That's how she got out.
Yes, Bianca Del Rio from Louisiana.
Okay.
Nice.
So Bianca and Chi-Chi.
She was born in New Orleans.
But Bianca's like isn't she considered like a New York queen though?
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's from.
There you go.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went to Drag in New Orleans. Didn't happen.
The more you know.
Season 2, I suppose. Didn't get to see it in Baton Rouge. Didn't get to see it in New Orleans.
I don't think they're gonna backtrack for season 2.
I don't care. They're going to New Orleans.
So what would be next? Oklahoma, Salt Lake City. Maybe they'll do a Salt
Florida.
Lake City.
They should do
Well,
Florida.
I'm assuming they're gonna keep
Miami.
going west, and then maybe.
Have you been tracking the map, like where they've been like going? Oh, I haven't either. So I thought,
Well, I mean, they're going for New York. I mean, you can just tell from, although they kind of went like west and then south.
Yeah, they did a little.
Because Palm Springs, Pennsylvania, and then Columbus, and then they went down to Louisville and stuff. So, yeah, that's my neck of the woods up there, my neck of the woods.
So,
Nanny and Papa lived in Pennsylvania, Erie, Pennsylvania.
were they protesters?
My Nanny and Papa. No.
Oh,
No.
no. Was your Pop real, or they was just somebody?
No, he was real.
somebody on Getty
He was
Images.
real. He was real.
So Damien is gonna go to New Orleans, and then we learn that later he's gonna, like, his plan is to go to New Orleans and then head to Cuba, but then he has second thoughts and decides to come back because he's in love with Ruby.
No, but what causes the
Yes, he saw the light grow.
The choking. He's choking.
Oh
and
yes,
his
he's
life
choking
flashes
on
before
McDonald's,
his eyes.
and his life flashes before his
I've been there
eyes.
many a time. This was a good scene.
I did love the scene
Eating
where he
too
like
fast.
he
Ollie
like
throwing
goes
himself
out.
against his steering wheel.
I literally did that with the tacos tonight before the show. We had 3 shows. I'm like, I gotta eat these tacos real quickly. And I choked.
So then,
I saw you guys.
Yeah,
I saw you guys.
Aw.
It was beautiful.
You
Anyway.
saw us sitting here with headphones on.
Yeah.
And you're like, I gotta get to the show. So Lady Danger hops in a ride share and decides to follow him, and the ride share guy is like, "You want to go to New Orleans? It's like 3 hours away." And apparently, like she convinces him to go wherever.
Well, he's like, what else do I have to do?
Yeah, what else?
I actually kind of thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, and so then he's kind of like trailing her all over, and then they have this thing where he's like, "Are you trailing an ex or what's going on?"
Yeah.
But we find out he's kind of creepy because he's like, yeah, I'm down with this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Probably the
most
most
Uber
exciting.
drivers are.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if he was just being creepy or if he had a crush on her or like what was happening.
I think he was terrified.
I know. I actually think he was having I think he was just kind of like this nerd who is driving and something exciting
somebody's
is doing.
talking to
Because
me?
he seen
Wow.
when she got out and he was like, I'll be here, I'll be waiting. Like I just got a vibe like that he was like excited to wait
Yeah.
for her. So that was my take. I don't know if that's true. I don't know what the director's notes were.
So then she breaks into the RV and uses curling irons and hair dryers to string up all the wigs. What was funny was when she was holding the plug in the hair dryer and the wig, I thought she was going to set the wigs on fire
and then burn the
RV. So, that would have been a bigger event and not reversible, but she just messed up the wigs and hung them out.
Yeah, and the whole time, I don't think Robert never found out that it was Lady Danger, did he? I forget. The whole time he thought it was the hate group that did that, right?
Yes, he thought it was the hate group, so he confronts the hate group, and then, the hate group basically is like, it's not us. Then a group of queens comes up to him, and he gets mad at the queens, and they say, no, we're here
give you wigs.
to give you
Yeah.
wigs, which I thought was very sweet. But yeah, you're right. I don't think he ever finds
They
out
say
that it
that
was
they
Lady
saw.
Danger.
I think they thought it was another
Oh.
drag queen.
Yes.
Oh, they thought Lady
So they-
Danger
they
was
said
a
it in
queen.
Yeah, and they
Yes.
said this wearing a blue jumper or something like that, and
Right.
she did this to us. But I don't think.
But
they still
even,
know.
they still didn't know that it was actually.
because I was waiting for them to say she had an eye patch. That's what I kept waiting for them to say, but nobody
Yes.
said that. I'm like, well,
Yeah, leave it to Lewis to tell you everything. Everybody else, we don't know jack, girl. All the other characters are
Right.
NPCs. We don't know what they are.
yeah.
So, just as Ruby's like getting ready to get on stage, Damien comes in and confronts her, basically being like, I'm
Brought her the money back.
Yeah, brought her the money back, is like attracted to her, like everything she thought she wanted, and she just lets AJ bonk him in the head.
Yeah.
And then they, because Trinity Danielle called like social services, and because AJ bribed the people with the bootleg money, Ruby realizes, okay, we got to leave and just take you to Pop Pop. So I knew something this whole time was weird with the Pop Pop story.
Yeah.
I knew, like, it didn't pass the smell test, right?
I'm so dumb. I believed it this whole time. I'm thinking, Pop Pop's gonna be some like amazing actor, like a recognizable actor or something.
Like Danny DeVito.
It was, as soon as they
somebody.
said that he was off the grid, that's when I went, oh, that's why that she has never spoken.
And the
to him.
mom,
And
every
that's the
time they
mom.
mention Pop Pop to the mom, she's like,
Well, and you could tell at the beginning, which is what you were talking about the last episode, when Bianca comes in and confronts Lewis and everything, and he mentions that
Brianna.
he's taking her to her pop-up. You can tell from Bianca's reaction.
Brianna.
Brianna.
But even then, I
Yeah.
thought like, okay, maybe he still exists, but he's just like a creep or something. Like he's not a good man,
Yeah.
No,
No,
I
knew something
thought,
was up.
so
I could tell.
they pull up to Pop Pop's house, and
pull up.
That was in air quotes for those of you listening.
Yeah, it was air quotes. They pull up to Pop Pop's house, and AJ has this sad conversation with Ruby where she's basically like, I can't bring you inside. Pop Pop might not accept you, where she's kind of like embarrassed to show Ruby to Pop Pop.
Yeah.
Which was like breaking my heart because it's like you already had built up this wonderful relationship.
Well,
So
goes back to what she was just saying too. So is AJ really an ally?
Too young to tell.
I mean,
Because she
But
says
that's the thing.
If
to
anything-
Rue, I don't want you to go in because I don't know, he may be one of those type of people. But she does say, give me a chance to
Right.
change him,
Right.
and then you can come. So
Yeah.
if anything, she's like, it's awesome that she's just so young and she hasn't been fed hate despite the way she's been treated by her
Yeah.
mom and
She
like
just hates
isolated.
everybody.
see,
That's true.
In my
she sees
head-
everyone as like equal.
I thought Pop Pop was going to turn out to be a drag queen. That's what I thought. I thought they were gonna have
Too
another.
cliche.
Yeah, see,
Too
that's
cliche.
that's what I thought. I thought they were gonna have another cameo, and it was gonna be like some
Who would
big
it be though?
queen.
Who would it be?
I was expecting a cameo, like that's the perfect Lady Bunny or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
Okay.
something. But
Something.
Yeah,
It was effective nonetheless, the big twist to me as
I
a
agree.
viewer, because I'm gullible and stupid.
So then, when Ruby pulls away at the RV, she sees that the letters had there's stamps on them, but there's not that marking to show that it's actually been postmarked.
Yeah.
See, I would have never known that either. I'm just as gullible as you then. So I haven't bought a stamp in a long time. I just send emails. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I thought was funny was she said this is a woman's handwriting.
Yeah.
I mean, if you saw my handwriting, you'd probably think it was a woman. I thought that was kind of
To me,
far-fetched
the handwriting
for me.
looked like a kid's handwriting.
Yeah.
I was just like, really? We're gonna go with it? Looks like a woman's handwriting? I don't know.
Gender roles.
But then,
I wish they would have because she pulled out all those cards.
Yeah.
And there was other things in her bag. I wish she would have pulled out something that she knew was from the mother.
Yes.
And then went, oh wait, these are the same handwriting.
handwriting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
something
that
like
would have
that.
taken just as much time to do. Just suggestion for the writing room for season 2.
Chucky Chuck says Michelle Visage would have been Pop Pop. Which was funny.
Oh, Chucky Chuck.
I'm surprised we haven't seen Michelle. But maybe she was no.
She's in surgery. Like,
Oh, she
this
was
is
in,
also
she was
that
in London.
time.
She was doing Dancing with the
Dancing with the Brits.
Stars.
Strictly Dancing.
Strictly Dancing.
Yeah.
They even took the word stars out. Anyway.
No, theirs was the original. Because it was the first one is from Australia, and so they called it Strictly Dancing in Australia. And then when it came to the U.S., I know because I worked with the company that made that show. So then they had to change the name when it came to the U.S. for whatever reason. I don't remember. Maybe because people would
Like
not
the
watch the
Masked
show.
Singer.
I'm so sorry.
Fucking hitting me.
I'm so sorry. Maybe because when people in the U.S. would not understand, like
She said a
It's
swear.
like AJ when he was wanting to touch her arm. We didn't talk about that.
Which
She
is
kept
punching
punching.
the punching the doctor.
I
Yes.
laughed out loud. That was
Yes.
funny. That was really funny. Sorry.
But my favorite part of this whole episode is when Ruby pulls her thumb away from the picture and says, "Get
image. Yeah.
in the corner."
Yeah. Well, you could tell when she showed the picture
Yeah, it
earlier
looks so,
you were
like-
just like, real. I thought it was
It
gonna be
looks
like
so,
the picture that came in the
staged.
frame.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I
okay.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, wait, this is Willie Nelson.
Very
Something like that.
Was that Willie Nelson?
It kind of looked like Willie Nelson. That's
It
the reason
did.
why I said
did.
that.
I was
but-
like, okay.
Yeah, or I was expecting her to like recognize that it was a famous person or something
Yeah.
like that. But the
Girl.
Getty Images
Yeah.
thing, that was really funny.
You mean to tell me Pop Pop is Willie Nelson?
Smoking
I got
pot
my lighter. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And then, of course, AJ in this episode dons her drag, which is like that wig with the bow on
little girl
top.
drag,
Yeah,
yeah.
her little girl
Little girl
drag.
drag.
I love when this isn't my quote of the week, so I'll say it now. When she says, "Are you sure about that bow?" And then Ruby says, "I just hate cliche drag."
Yeah.
But that was funny.
And then it goes,
I didn't miss her long hair. I think her short hair is bust. That wig, got to
Check
get
it
that
off.
pussycat wig out.
You know what's funny is that wig actually reminded me of Wizard of Oz. It reminded me of Judy Garland's hair in The Wizard of Oz. And I wonder if that's why they picked that
Are
wig,
we
because they're
thinking
like
of the same movie?
I can't even like.
Oh, the wig.
the wig.
The wig. I thought you meant like her.
Because there's two wigs.
Yeah,
She's
'cause
wearing
she's
two-
clearly wearing a
Oh,
short wig.
okay.
I thought you meant the short wig,
No, the
like
one
the
with the
janky
bow
cut
on
one.
it.
Yeah,
And they were
Okay.
I'm like,
Which is so
I know.
funny.
I was like, girl, what movie?
you spelled child's play wrong.
Which is so funny. Which that could be kind of like if inspiration for the show is kind of like Wizard of Oz
Yeah.
trying to follow the red brick,
Well,
the yellow
yeah.
brick
Well,
road.
you
Well,
know
they're
when
on a farm in the end, and
Friends
like
with-
she's got a red wig, and Ruby is Ruby, you know, like
Red
Ruby
li-
slippers.
Is she wearing blue? Well, Rue, if you watch my interview with Rue on YouTube from the AJ and the Queen from the red carpet, she makes a comment that she says it's a road show, it's a road movie, and like all the other great road movies. And I feel like she even maybe said Wizard of Oz. I'm not even sure.
Okay.
I'll have to rewatch. And while you're doing that, rewatch Raven's video.
Yes.
Plug it, girl.
Let's get it up to
She
100,000
is
views, ladies
plugging
and
it.
gentlemen. Link is in the chat
Now,
room
the,
right now.
the interview with Rue, was that before or after she called the cops on you?
Before.
So then, you know, she finds out Pop Pop isn't real, and so she goes like crying, and Ruby goes after her, but then Brianna comes in
Yes.
in a cop car, and she's like
How did
punching
you get
her
there
and
so
loves her.
fast? Like,
I was a
From
little
New York.
She stole that money from Lewis.
I know. She stole the money from Lewis.
She took a couple Greyhounds, you know.
But you guys, I was wondering what you think of the end, because in the end, like, you know, you just have this ending where Ruby's kind of looking on at them and says, you know, she thinks this is her story, but this is our story. But I wanted a season 2 so badly after that, because I'm like, well, the Ruby as surrogate parent thing never gets resolved. Yeah. You know, the mom stealing Lewis's money is not resolved. And then in the end, we kind of have this hint of a Lady Danger backstory where she had been Miss Hawaii and lost
because she was, I remember she said she was too ethnic at one point early in the season.
Yeah, she had like the...
And that made me feel for her, like really sympathize with her character. Ever since she said that, I feel like there is another side too. Because
we get the flashback when she's watching the pageant happen, and so, I mean...
She took Danielle's crown.
Yeah.
That was funny. I was here for it.
That was my favorite. That was my other favorite.
Okay,
thing.
another story.
You stole someone's crown.
Honey. I lost back in high school. Well, I didn't lose. My best friend did. And she lost Most Likely to Be Famous. And the girl that got it was like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Safe to say she's not famous. But I was like, oh, if I won the award, my friend's going to win the award too. So I took it off the table. And we held on to it. We put it in her purse. And then the girl comes up to us and goes, hey, I lost my award. Have you guys seen it? We both look at each other and go, no, we can help you find it. So, I mean, that's the ugly side of show business, Gail. That's it.
Anything to win.
Yeah,
anything to win.
Exactly.
Anything to win.
Yeah.
That's the pageant way.
Yes.
And we didn't say either that
well, then Lewis goes on, yes. And so Lewis catches up with Ruby and AJ, and then...
But he leaves because he catches Patrick with Jordan.
Right.
The thick man.
And he goes to apologize to Patrick and finds another guy.
Jordan had the cakes.
He just got thick.
Damn.
And no pants.
No pants.
That's all I need.
Pants.
I appreciate the ass and abs and man stuff.
You forget you're watching Netflix, and then stuff like that happens, and you're like, oh, that's right. Oh, okay, Netflix. Cool. Well, I'll say this real quick. When I was doing the Meet the Brit Crew segments, Nico, the last one who I covered, I said, you can send me pictures. I'll just steal some from Instagram, whatever you want to do. So he started sending me pictures. Mm-hmm. And I was like, girl, this is the United States. We can't use these on AfterBuzz TV. It was hysterical. And he literally was like, what do you mean? Are they bad? I'm like, okay, well, bad's a bad word to use because they're not bad. Okay. They're just a little more revealing than we can show on AfterBuzz TV. So I'm just going to steal some from your
But what was
Instagram.
he like, showing his abs?
Yeah, no, his butt. He was like, Jordan, cakes.
Or what's the difference?
Wait, full on bare butt?
Bare butt.
He was Jordan cakes.
Bare butt.
Well, I'm here.
I won't share those. Don't worry.
Well, send me my phone. I got AirDrop.
Slide into Jayla's DM.
I mean, you can tell if you watch his video, like the pictures that I had to use were still a little more revealing than the rest.
Peach emoji on top.
I could have done that. I could have done that.
Eggplant.
I mean, have you seen Ollie's Instagram, girl?
Right.
What are you guys talking about? I don't have Instagram.
Dolly Parton challenge.
Ollie's gonna get removed from Instagram soon, so
that's fine.
Oh yeah, it's deactivated. I'm blocked in the U.S.
Half the country's out.
So Lewis fills in for. Yes, she did. Lewis fills in for Ruby at the pageant and does this like beautiful piano number. I love
Unspeakable
these.
Joy.
Yeah,
I love great
these,
song, by the way.
I love these like Lewis like piano numbers that we're having in the show.
That was kind of, I'm dating myself now, but that Unspeakable Joy is like my gay prime. Like that was what was out. That was all that music that was out when I was like in the clubs, everything. So hearing Unspeakable Joy was just like, oh my God, this song. So many great memories. But yeah.
And there was also a Jennifer Holliday tribute in his very last note, and he does that big inhale. She does that for the "You're Gonna Love Me" segment on Broadway. So hey.
And
then he gets the first runner up for that. And
I was bummed.
He is the Coco Montrese
Yes.
Oh no. The inspiration. But it was nice because that's all Lewis wanted this whole time was to be able to perform. And
Right,
like,
right.
People,
and get recognition.
yeah, people look at him as just a blind queen when really
Yeah.
he has so much talent despite his handicap, if you want to consider
Right.
that a handicap. Which,
And I do like the whole shtick where, like, he comes out in the beginning and then throws out the blind cane, and Danielle is like, oh no, because she's the one who's like, oh, let him compete, whatever, because
Yeah.
he's like unzipped in the back or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, he's gonna get the sympathy vote. So.
Yeah.
he's not a
But he didn't even need it. He didn't need it.
Yeah.
Because
and then
of
it
the
goes
piano.
it's like the whole thing of like you can't just be a look queen. You have to be versatile.
Yeah.
You have to be able
And
to
I like the
farm.
jokes about like the first alternate and the fourth alternate, and because those are jokes that Trinity made on Drag Race. So,
Ali Chuck's talking to you in the chat room.
Hi, Chucky Chuck.
Oh, is there a love connection going on here? I love this.
We
I've
love
seen
Chucky
this
Chuck.
on an episode of Black Mirror.
Also on Netflix. with
Yes,
AJ and the
also on
Queen.
Netflix. Okay, are we getting endorsed for this?
No.
I'm out of here.
we're endorsed by hummus. We're endorsed
Yes,
by
we are
Alright,
endorsed
so
by hummus.
Okay, so Mark, what was the quote of the week?
Yes.
Quote of the week this week goes to, where did it go? It actually is gonna go. It's gonna go to Trinity Taylor, Miss Danielle Dupree, when she comes off stage and says to Coco, "Hope you can follow that, Helen Keller." I'm sorry, I laughed out loud. That was funny.
I agree.
The fan of the week is Ronnie Jr.
Oh, RJ.
He's been watching all of our videos, and he so graciously agreed to be on standby if one of us couldn't come in. So I really have appreciated that. And he has some great takes on the season that I've been.
Yeah,
texting
we
him
had
about.
margaritas the day he came, and I was like, oh, it's so good to see him. So yes, Ronnie Jr., look under your seat. You get hummus.
You get a hummus, and you get a hummus.
I really have to make hummus now.
Yes, you have to now.
You know what? There's one more thing I just want to say. I forgot the moment where they're all in the RV singing "It's Raining Men."
Oh,
I
yes.
love that moment.
You want a little Lorayne Love fun fact?
Your very first drag song.
It
Damn.
was Martha Wash RuPaul's It's
Wow.
Raining Men.
Yeah.
It was Lorayne and my friend who it was here in LA. When I moved here in and
You can say
the
that.
first time, and we were Lorayne and Lucy Love from Library, Louisiana.
Aww.
And we did RuPaul and Martha Wash. It's Raining Men. He was in a drug and alcohol rehabilitation house, and they were doing like a fundraiser, and they did like this drag show. And he's like, "Will you do it with me?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." Why not?" So we did it.
awesome.
And I styled my. I'll have to find pictures. I used to have longer hair, so I used to style my own hair.
Oh,
It
cute.
was kind of cool. Yeah.
Love that. So, do you guys have any predictions for season 2?
Yes.
Wait, before we do that, y'all know Netflix don't pick up shows after a good season. So our prediction is we hope there will be a season 2.
Right.
But if there is, what do you guys think would happen?
One big happy family. One big
I
dysfunctional family.
I think they are going to go into Lady Danger's backstory because I feel like that that was kind of foreshadowed because we don't really get. We have her coming in at the end and seeing, like having that flashback about what happened to her in the Miss America pageant. But now I want to know, okay, well, what's the rest of the story there?
I think, yeah, I like
I feel like that was just the story.
Well, I feel like
But like, how did she get from person
There to-
from
Ah.
there to like
And
silicone
we don't really know what
injections?
happened to the eye. We know we saw it, but we don't know what
Yeah.
happened to it.
Yeah.
I feel like
Okay.
my big prediction, kind of like real quick, I think that they're going to continue being on the road, Robert, Brianna,
Yep.
and AJ, and AJ's going to be kind of stuck and trying to figure out who should she go with, or maybe they're going to be one big happy family, the three of them, and then I think Damien's going to kind of like follow them because Damien's now realizing he's in love with Robert.
Right.
So that's kind of like my prediction first, if there is a season 2.
I think there'll be some sort of. I don't know. I guess it doesn't. We don't know if Brianna is upset with Robert. Where somebody in the chat room even said, "Will she like prosecute? Will she have him arrested for kidnapping or something like that?" I think the first episode will probably be dealing with that situation. I guess it will just depend how that unfolds to see where it goes, but it'll be interesting. I think we'll see more queens across the country.
Well, yeah, there's
Yes.
140
We'll
of
have
them, so.
Salt Lake City Mormons queens. Raven can do that.
Now, did she confirm that, or are we just talking?
No, I'm just making
We'll
stuff
have
up as I
Seattle
talk.
Queens. I would love to see
Oh,
some
yeah.
Seattle
Yeah.
Queens.
And also, I
Thank
honestly,
God.
I think Tia, she's a singer. She's a Grammy Award winner. So I
Yeah.
feel like she needs to perform in season 2.
Right,
Like,
right.
hello,
Yeah.
with Rue, battle it out, girl fight.
I would love it, but more Rue performing.
Yeah, I
Yes.
like that.
I think those are my favorite parts of season 1 is watching Rue do Rue.
All right, before we
Well,
wrap,
Ruby,
like
but
favorite
Rue.
performance of the season.
Had to be Ruby and Fabergé.
Yeah,
Push
that
it.
was mine
Okay.
too.
Yeah, I feel like that's
Other
everybody's.
that and then her doing the character in the hospital to get AJ out. Those are
Okay.
probably my 2 favorite.
Oh, Grease. Her and AJ.
That was good too.
Okay,
That was
so
good.
I
Yeah.
just say
I think mine was the Latrice one, and then the wet t-shirt.
Yeah.
In the pool when she's doing
They were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They were a lot of fun.
She really, like, again, we said it before. She really went there and she
Yes.
performed and gave us like true Rue.
The
Yes.
boobies falling off.
She didn't act like she was too good to do
Right.
what needed to be done, which I appreciated.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in all this season and checking out our episodes. We will be back with season 12 of Drag Race on Sundays.
We'll
Starting-
confirm it,
well,
and then
We'll
we'll tweet
confirm
out.
it, but
it-
we'll confirm the time.
It premieres February 28th,
28th.
so that first Sunday we'll be recapping the first episode, but the Sunday before we'll be doing a special Meet the Queens. Am I correct in that?
Queens.
Or am I just making stuff up as
It's
I'm talking?
Sure.
possible. Yeah.
You guys
Is
gotta,
that not what we discussed?
you gotta
Yes, sure.
follow us to get the full details.
I drink
Right.
a lot, so maybe we didn't have that conversation. I
did.
just had it with
We
myself
did.
in my head.
We did.
Same.
With me and my pug and my chihuahua.
We did.
That was it.
I just didn't talk to the producers about it.
Okay, well, that's what we're planning on.
We'll get to that.
But we are now. Josh, that's what we're going to do.
I am your host, 123 Jackie B on all platforms. Mark, where can they find
And
you?
you can find me on the Instagram and the Twitter at Lorayne Love, Lorayne Love.
And you can watch me on the gram. Follow me at Who is Jayla Roxx. That's 2 X's 3 if you nasty.
And I'm Ollie Drennan. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Ollie Dreamer.
Bye.
Bye.
Why we always pause before we
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.